So you want to make an impact. You're thinking about starting a business, sharing your voice. How do women do it that handle motherhood, family, and still chase after those dreams? Well, listen each week as we dive into the stories of women who know. This is Call Me CEO. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Call Me CEO. Today, we are talking about legal advice. Now, if you are looking for any specific legal advice, of course, talk to your own lawyer or attorney. This is advice-based only. However, we have an expert in the house, Lauren Boyd, who is the owner of Guide My Business, which is a boutique law firm. It is a smaller boutique that is relationship focused and helps you take power and education into play into your business so you can make it better and more secure in what it is that you're offering and who you are. So, Lauren, thank you so much for being here today.
I'm so happy to be here. It's fun to catch up on the podcast.
Yeah, I think that this is a really deep topic where there are so many things that we have already been talking about before we started recording here today. I know that I get a lot of questions about the best steps with building and growing a business, and people wonder when they should talk to an attorney. So let's dive into this. Tell me about how you got started in this passion piece of growing a boutique law firm from going from corporate now where you are in the place where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually went to school for finance and entrepreneurship. So when I was double majoring in the entrepreneurship program, I loved our mock legal counsel from third year law students. And I really just kind of moved away from the finance path that I was on and said, you know what, I think legal is kind of the way I'm going to, really impact businesses going forward. And so I applied to law school, went through law school, really focused on all the business points, but at the same time, knew that one day I would probably have something of my own. I really didn't know if it was going to be a law firm or something else. And I would kind of hone my skills, have kind of honed my passions and have this background in law that would be success, part of, the success, or if it would be a law firm itself. And I was in my corporate job for several years. I owned my own house and, it was kind of like, it was really nice to have a comfortable paycheck, and I had just got a dog and the whole bit. And I was talking to my boyfriend, now husband, over dinner. And I was like, I think I want to quit my corporate law job and start a law firm. And I was kind of like, if it doesn't work out, I can go in-house someplace else. And I had this whole kind of, if this doesn't work, here's what I'll do next. But that was 4.5 years ago now, and it feels like 10 sometimes, but it was really only 4.5 years ago. And I have several employees. We have clients that have been with us from the very beginning and new clients coming in all the time. And it's kept us on our toes. It's kept it interesting. We have a really kind of wide practice area, which we are starting to really niche down because, we really, we want to grow with our clients in a particular way going forward, but it's just been fun to see the evolution of the firm from start to finish. And really a lot of it has been focused around building boundaries, evolving to a place where we can provide the best guidance possible. And I just feel like the firm has gotten better and better every year.
Wow. With that educational background of business and law, there is so much that you have to offer. And I'm so excited to dig into that. And looking at what you've been going through in these past few years, you've had a pandemic, a wedding, and a baby, and you moved. I'm just like, holy smokes, this is a lot to take in. I feel like the timing of getting your business started 4 years ago, like how great is that you were building that foundation first before those big changes happened? Was that something that sequentially you had planned on, or did it just work out that way?
Yeah, so I got my Enneagram typed. I don't know if anyone knows about the Enneagram. If you don't, check it out. I love it. I'm an Enneagram 8, and it turns out that I'm very forward looking. And I was like, oh, that sounds about right. I think I knew that, especially as a woman, I wanted to be able to build something of myself, something of my career that could be flexible at the point that we were going to start a family. And I knew that it was going to take a little bit of time to build into that. And so when I was, with my now husband, we were dating. It was basically like, hey, I think I'm going to quit my job. Do you want to move in and help me pay the mortgage? Great. So he was really that safety net and the encouragement to start. But we both actually came from entrepreneurial families. And so I think he could understand why I wanted to build something like this. And he could understand why I wanted to be at home more. In fact, during this podcast, I can't help it. You may or may not hear her cry. We have our nanny here, who works part-time, and really I work part-time in the business now. And this is not something I could have done a couple of years ago. I knew that it was going to take time to get it to this place that I could hire and delegate and, and bring in a team that could support me so that I could work on more of the high level items and work part-time so that I could spend time with our family. So it's literally, I'm like, as I say that, I'm like, oh, she's awake from her nap. I can hear it. And that was the dream. I wanted to be able to, work from home and hear my baby cooing in the other room and pop out when I wanted to. And it's been something that I've definitely been building and evolving into year over year with kind of a long, kind of the long vision in mind. And, the day to day and kind of the quarter to quarter has changed and evolved based on feedback from clients, things that interest me, who we've hired, what interests them. And gosh, it's been a journey.
I love how forward thinking you are, because many times I will talk with people who maybe see where I am in my career or where you are. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that you planned for, and that you're okay in asking for help, which is awesome. And that you also have positioned yourself in a way that you can have that flexibility and pay attention to that high level stuff, so that the things that you don't want to do that are sucking up all your time can be offloaded onto other people. And so I want to talk about that a little bit, about the sequence of how you were able to do that and how you were able to bring people on board and how you advise people legally to take those steps. So let's say I'm going to just put a little bug in your ear of what would be the best time. Say we have someone listening right now who has been in business for a while and they're thinking, maybe it's time to trademark, maybe it's time to get legal advice. I know you may say from the very beginning, but let's just pretend they didn't do that it wasn't from day one. Like, when do you think is a must time where it's like, okay, these things are in place, let's go from there?
So of course I'm going to say there's so many points where it's just like, just talk to a lawyer first. There's so many businesses that, I'm really I feel like the way we've worked with our clients, we've really become kind of a partner in their business. We're kind of, there to lean on when the time is right. And I think as a business owner and a founder, you'll know when you come up against something that you need. Usually the general red flags, and I get it, give yourself grace. We've all made messy action. We've all kind of done some copy and pasting, right? But give yourself some grace to say, I didn't do in the past, but now I really am ready to take those next steps. There's a stat for Trademark specifically, but I think this is more of a mindset piece that actually applies to all of the things, that businesses that trademark their brand within the first year of business earn 3 times as much revenue in the first 5 years as businesses that don't. 3 times, like 3 times in 5 years. That is a ton of money. That's a ton of money being left on the table. And it's not because, of course, yes, there's revenue drivers that come from trademarking your brand. There is the prevention from, confusion with another brand in your industry, ensuring that the goodwill that you're establishing, the brand recognition you're establishing with your customers and clients is actually coming through to you and not that competitor that's closely positioning themselves. It's, of course, licensing opportunities. But I do think that a huge portion of it is mindset. The mindset of a founder that is willing to set the foundations in place of protecting the ownership of their brand and seeing the ownership of their brand as one of the most fundamental rights in their business that they should own is also the type of founder that is going to make sure that they have a secure, contract for doing business with independent contractors and, and their clients.